Hi everyone, welcome back to my page. In today's masterclass, we're going to be talking about something that I think just never really gets covered in sex ed spaces in general, and I think it's really important when it comes to intimacy and relationships, and that's hygiene. And I really want to discuss this as not as a chore, but as something that actually shapes your dating life and your relationships with your own body. So if this is something that interests you, please follow along with me and let's get started. So, to begin with, why do conversations around hygiene matter in the first place? First, hygiene shapes how you're perceived in dating and intimacy, and nobody ever explained why this feels harder for you specifically. Second, this is a documented skill gap and not a character flaw. Research on daily living tasks in autistic kids and teens links things like bathing and hand washing to executive function and sensory motor differences and not motivation. Third, your body might genuinely not send you clear signals. Interoception, or the sense of what is happening inside your body, can make it hard to notice sweat or odor before someone else does. And lastly, the goal here is not to pass as neurotypical. It is to build a rhythm your actual body and senses can keep up with. While doing research, these are three things that mainly came up that I think are really important in this conversation. So, to begin with, interoception, which is your internal body sense. Second is executive function, which covers starting, sequencing, and finishing multi step tasks. And lastly, sensory processing, which is how intensely you experience texture, wetness, temperature, and scent. All three of these can make an ordinary hygiene task feel a lot harder than it looks from the outside, and none of them are about how much you care. I always think it's really important to discuss myths and facts when it comes to conversations surrounding these things because a lot of shame around this comes from bad assumptions. So, to begin with, myth. They just do not care about being clean. In reality, the fact is that hygiene difficulty is tied to interception and executive function and not motivation. The next myth is everyone should use the same routine. In fact, sensory profiles vary widely, so the right routine is the one your body can tolerate. Myth. Hygiene struggles mean you cannot have intimacy. Fact. Hygiene independence is well documented as achievable with the right supports. And myth, asking for gentler products is making excuses, when in reality, the fact is that is a legitimate accommodation and not a shortcut. So, here is a six-step routine that you can adapt to your own lifestyle, and I think could be potentially helpful in this conversation. So, set a cue instead of a clock, something that already happens daily. Shorten the wet part, a quick rinse still counts. Pick one gentle product per area so you're not making a decision every single time. Apply deodorant to dry skin, a thin layer goes on clean, and this is where a gentle formula can genuinely help since it applies without rubbing or friction. Also, do a 2-minute body check, which includes pits, feet, teeth in that order, and let good enough be enough because a completed routine beats a perfect one you keep avoiding. Visuals like this are really helpful when trying to pick your new hygiene product. Ask yourself what your body actually tolerates across four categories: texture, scent, application method, and skin sensitivity. For each one, there is a seek this side and an approach with caution side. You do not have to memorize all four right now, just pick the one that feels most relevant today when you're buying a new product. Magskin was kind enough to give me a product recently, and I thought it'd be really awesome to include it in this conversation surrounding hygiene because this is definitely a sensory friendly option that I would recommend. So, it is a spray, so it applies without rubbing or friction. It is a fragrance free and aluminum free built around magnesium hydroxide. It is dermatologist tested with a zero irritation result across a 60-person sensitive skin patch test, and it was originally formulated for eczema and psoriasis prone skin, which overlaps with a lot of autistic sensory profiles. I just wanted to talk about this because I think it's a really good option that one should consider, and Magskin was kind enough to get this to me, so thank you so much to Magskin for that. Whether or not you try the specific product that I was just talking about, here's a checklist you can use for any hygiene product going forward: texture, scent load, application method, skin compatibility, packaging ease, and cost and access. Screenshot this one and hold up on its own whenever you're needing to look at it whenever you're out shopping. I always think it's important to identify common pitfalls to watch out for when trying a new skill. So, comparing your pace to someone else's when hygiene independence develops on different timelines for different brains. Next is forcing a product because it is popular, when popular is not the same as tolerable for you. Treating hygiene as a moral issue when it is a skill and sensory issue, not a reflection of how much you care. Skipping supports that actually help, like visual checklists and cued routines. And lastly, all or nothing thinking, when a modified routine done consistently beats a perfect one done rarely. In closing, my final message is that your body deserves care that actually fits it. And I, again, want to just thank Mag Skin for gifting me the product. And thank you to everyone that was here present listening to this presentation. And if anyone has any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them in the commentary below, or you can email me directly as well. And again, thank you so much for everyone for listening and for following along. And if there's any other subjects or topics that you want me to be discussing on this page, I am always so open to suggestions. And again, thank you so much to Maxkin for gifting me that product. And I hope you enjoyed this presentation. I hope everyone has a great rest of your week and see you again soon. Bye.